Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. It's a late one. You'll probably see this in the morning, but it's a late one. Just got back from London, had a good weekend. Went down on Saturday for the fight, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. My good friend Lyndon Arthur from Moston was boxing. Anthony Yard went down to support him. Had a great night. Fantastic event was put on by Matchroom and Turkey Al Sheikh, whatever he's called. I think he's took it up another level. It was really, really good. The whole Chris Eubank Senior turning up with his son, coming out to Simply the Best. It brought the vibes back from the early 90s when Eubank and Ben was a thing. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, my mate Lyndon didn't win his fight. He had a tough fight with Anthony Yard. It's the third fight of the trilogy that they've had, and he fell short. But I'm super proud of him. You know what I mean? Lyndon grew up in Moston. The only downside to Lyndon is that he's a United fan, but you know we can't hold that against him. But I feel like any young lad who's getting into boxing, on these housing estates all across the country, wherever, you can look up to someone like Lyndon Arthur. You know what I mean? He came from humble beginnings. You know, he lost his brother tragically. His brother was murdered, shot dead. He bounced back. He could have been dragged in by the streets, but he bounced back. Pat Barrett, Black Flash Promotions, got a grip of him, and he's earned himself a good few quid now. You know what I mean? He's buying a nice, beautiful house. He's got a good little family. And for me, it's a real success story to see him as a young lad who I sponsored the beginning of his fighting career, buying him a pair of boots and some gloves, to a lad who's walking out at Tottenham Stadium in front of 67,000, a lad who's boxing in Riyadh against Bivol. Yeah, I was super proud of him. So big up Lyndon Arthur. You know, you are a red and you do me head in sometimes, but me, I am proud of you, mate. And big up everyone involved in the boxing at Tottenham. I thought it was fantastic. And then roll on Sunday. We watched Crystal Palace beat Aston Villa, which was a mad, mad result. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people expected it, but I said on the Big Six show that Palace had done well against Villa this season. I think they played them 3 times, won twice, drawn one. So it wasn't going to be, you know, plain sailing for Aston Villa. So that gave me incentive. I thought, you know what, if we can beat Forest today, Crystal Palace in the final, you know, we can go there, yeah, and enjoy it. We can't take it for granted because obviously we played Wigan a few years ago in the final. They beat us. So we just got to make sure, you know, we're on it. But Nottingham Forest are coming to town. They've had a fantastic season. They've had some great results. They've upset a lot of people. They've, you know, they're trying to get in the Champions League. We've played them twice this season. We beat them 3-0 at the Etihad, and we lost 1-0 at the City Ground, which always hurts. But, you know, City were going there in a little bit of form. You know, we've been playing okay, getting results, 2 good results against Everton away and Villa at home. And then we're getting players back from injuries, etc. So we were looking like we had our tails up a little bit. So I was excited for the game. Obviously, rival fans are using the game as a point scoring exercise to slag everyone off for the 5,000 empty seats there. Listen, I'm not going to sit on here and tell people who can and cannot go to games. Manchester City's been to Wembley 31 times in the last how many years? 15? It's ridiculous. Watching a football team week in, week out is expensive. I get it. And people's circumstances are different. I get it. But we do get a lot of people moaning that they can't get tickets. We do get a lot of people moaning that I've not been able to attend certain games this season, blah, 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 blah. So the fact that there's 5,000 empty ones for the semi, it baffles me a little bit because I'm starting to think a lot of these people that are telling me they can't get tickets, are they using that as an excuse? Do they really want tickets? Because when there's tickets available like Sunday, and it's not just a one-off game, it's a semi-final at Wembley. It's an opportunity. If you've not been to any games this season and you can go straight to a semi-final, it's a good opportunity. You know what I mean? Anyway, we got beaten about that. But I'll tell you something. The atmosphere of the City fans in the stadium was fantastic. All them Blues that travelled to Wembley on a Sunday afternoon at 4:30 kickoff, with work the next day and school, you all deserve a pat in the back because the atmosphere was fantastic and everybody got behind the boys. The Green Man was bouncing as per usual. Wembley Way was dead friendly atmosphere. We're speaking to a lot of Nottingham Forest fans. They were down for the game. They were buzzing. And yeah, the City fans didn't disappoint. I'm not listening to rival fans, but I'm just saying is, as a City fan, it is concerning when we do get a lot of people getting onto us. I can't get a ticket for this, and I've tried, and I can't do this. And then you look at that and you think, well, if you haven't been all season, some people have been all season and managed to scrape a semi-final and pay for it. If you haven't been all season, you should, and you've said you've got the funds to go to league games, then there's a semi there. The same people will want to go to the final. The demand for the final tickets will be mad. But it's just a bit sad to see. You know what I mean? It's a bit sad to see when you see a whole block like that empty. It's a bit, it puzzles me a little bit, but I don't know. It is what it is. But let me know what you think. What do you think about it? Do you think it's embarrassing? Do you think it's justified? Do you think the ticket protest has got something to do with it? Do you think a lot of people making excuses about it? Let me know what you think. But all I know is that, Wembley semi-finals, we've been saying it for a long, long time. It does take the edge off the final. Villa Park would have been great. Old Trafford, anywhere would have been sound. But I don't know. Are people getting a bit fed up of Wembley now in the semi-finals? I know that seems mad to say. And I know other fans will probably watch this and go, how can you say that about a semi-final? But I'm telling you this now, as a City fan of going to all of them 31 games in 15 years, it does take the edge off it a little bit. Now, your first 5 or 6 times you're there, no matter what, you find the money, you go, you get the tickets, you're there. Then it starts to become, fucking hell, Wembley again. And that's not being entitled. That's just living life and day-to-day bills, mortgages, kids, travel, work, etc. gets in the way. So, it's all right point scoring, but people need to take it into context that 31 times in 15 years is a ridiculous amount. And it's not a fucking £100 of a day. It's a £200-300 of a day. You know what I mean? Everything's expensive. The coaches are expensive. The tickets are expensive. You're getting back. You're probably missing a day at work or whatever, school. So, yeah, it is a lot of sacrifice. So that's why I say big up to everybody that did sacrifice it. Big up to everyone that did make an effort to get down there. The support was fantastic. And I thought we got behind the boys well. Rolling on the game, I thought Pep got his tactics spot on. I thought Nottingham Forest have obviously trained this week with a plan to defeat Manchester City. I think Pep threw a spanner in the works. He started off with his box midfield. Do you know what I mean? Of Kovacic, Bernardo at the bottom with Rico Lewis and Jack Grealish at the top. I don't think Forest had an answer for it. I think City looked very, very comfortable. Nico O'Reilly at left back. Fantastic player, young, hungry player, Man City fan. One of the players of the season for me, growing into that left back role sensationally. Mateus Nunes, we've said on this channel before, he's got the occasional bozo gene in him, but he seems to be solid out on the right. He's looking like a steady fullback. He's getting in this team now regular, and I think Ruben Diaz and the boys at the back are dragging him in when he needs to be dragged in. They're educating him, talking him through the game. I thought he had a fantastic game. I thought Rico Lewis, who's had a lot of stick this season, you know what I mean? Some people saying he was lightweight, etc. for the midfield. I feel like when he's in there on his own, or when he's in there as a fullback and he has to come into the midfield, sometimes he can get caught in possession. But on Sunday, I thought he was fantastic. You know what I mean? And Mateo Kovacic, by the way, I've got to say, this season, he's right up there for player of the season for me. I think he's had a fantastic season. I think he's rolling back the years. He was getting on the ball. He was driving into the midfield. He was getting into the gaps. He was pressing and pressing. He was leading by example, and he set the tempo in there. Kovacic set the tempo in there. Bernardo Silva alongside him. I think he's got a lot of criticism this year. He was rolling back the years. Bernardo, the energy was there. And Nottingham Forest first half couldn't cope. We got off to a fantastic start. The ball in to Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis' first touch was superb. He cushioned the ball well. He puts it in the bottom corner. We find ourselves 1-0 up. 3 minutes gone. And the first half then, the They want a lot of chances created, but City controlled the game. I think the word is control. We knocked it about well. We didn't let Forest get a grip of the game. Every time they got the ball, we pressed them and got the ball back within 6, 7, 8 seconds. The midfield battle was being won. They were looking for the outlet with Hudson-Odoi on the wings, but City controlled it well. The Josko Vardiol, Ruben Diaz partnership at the back is got to be the one that starts the next season. That has got to be the main partnership for me. I don't like it when Pep starts chopping and changing the back four too much. I feel like we're a lot settled outfit when he keeps the same four or just tweaks it every now and then. I thought Mamouche was lively. I thought Savinho got on the ball well, but yet again, a little bit frustrating with no end product. But overall, the first half was happy. I've gone down at half time, talking to a few City fans there, and relatively happy. Forest couldn't play any worse, and City were getting better and better in the game. We come out the second half. Nottingham Forest, they changed it a little bit, made some substitutions. Alanga and etc. come on. Forest had a great chance. Alanga should have scored. If he'd have took it with his left foot, I think he would have scored. He's took it with his right foot, put it wide. Then Morgan Gibbs-White, a player Man City have been linked with, he smashes a great volley off the crossbar. If that goes in, it's one of the greatest FA Cup goals you're going to see. He hit it sweet. And then you're starting to think, is it going to be City's day? You know what I mean? Alanga chance, Morgan Gibbs-White. City were huffing and puffing again, starting to be a little bit sloppy, giving the ball away. Needed to relax. Josko Vardiol got caught in possession. Gibbs-White rounded the goalkeeper, Ortega, and he hits the post and it comes out. So then you're thinking, we're riding our luck a little bit. Then we get a great chance. I think Kovacic, there's a bit of a melee in the box. Kovacic is going to put the ball into an empty net and it hits their players on their hands. He's got his hands behind him and he stopped the ball going in the net. Everyone, we're behind. I'm looking right at it. I'm saying it's a penalty. It's a penalty, 100% penalty. Finished. And they don't give it. And I'm like, what? And they're saying his hands are in a natural position. I'm not being funny. His hands stopped the ball going in the net. It was an empty net. He was rolling the ball into the net. For me, if anyone's hand stops the ball going in the goal, it's a penalty. But I thought, this is not going to turn the game here, is it? Are they going to get back into it and we're going to be looking at this penalty decision? But for me, it was a stonewall penalty. I need the rules clarifying because I'm not having it, you know what I mean? Luckily for us, it resulted in a corner. The corner swings in. Josko Gvardiol, bang, header, top corner, 2-0. Fucking brilliant, you know what I mean? A little bit of justice. Got robbed with a pen. Fantastic. And City end was up then. The crowd was up, going for it. And then I knew then, deep down, that, there was no way we were going to lose it. You look at the bench that we had. Phil Foden, Jeremy Doku, Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne. You look at the options we had on the bench to freshen the game up if we needed to. If it went to extra time or we needed a bit of life, we could have done it. And that was credit to Pep. You know what I mean? He started a system that worked. I thought Jack Grealish did well in the midfield. You know what I mean? He's not been playing for the last few weeks, Jack. So he did really, really well to come in there. Probably a little bit rusty. Kept us ticking over. And overall, I thought it was a really, really refreshing, good performance, especially to see how we're finishing the end of the season, considering how the middle of the season went. We started the beginning of the season well. I don't think we lost in the first 8 or 10 games. And then we had that horrendous patch of form, 1 in 11, where we were looking terrible. When everybody said Pep Guardiola's finished, your bubbles burst, your players have gone, the legs have gone, etc., etc., etc. Yes, I know we went out in January and got reinforcements, but there's only Mamouche out of that lot that are playing regular. The rest of them are on the bench at the minute. It's just Pep's now found a system and a way of working that is working. I think Nico O'Reilly coming in at left back has definitely steadied the ship and improved us across the back four, because now he can do a job at left back. Josko Gvardiol, who I think is a good left back, but wasted there, now comes into the middle of the park. He complements Ruben Diaz very, very well. And the pair of them, are solid at the back, give us the foundation to break out from the back and allows Mateus Nunes as well now to play in a solid back four. But yeah, we're creeping towards the end. He brings on Doku and Foden, etc. Nico Gonzalez come on for a few minutes and we win the game. And listen, it's fantastic. It's Manchester City Football Club, the club we love. We're at Wembley again for the FA Cup final. The FA Cup final is always a special occasion. It's a great day. You know, people can't talk bad about the FA Cup to me. I grew up in a generation where I watched Manchester United win the FA Cup, playing Crystal Palace in the replays, etc., etc. I watched all them great FA Cup games, and I was always wishing that one day Manchester City could be in them finals, and we are. You know, you can't take it for granted. You can't take it for granted. It's an FA Cup final. That's why I urge everyone, you know, if you're on the fence about it, go to the final. Get you dressed up in your blue and white gear. Get your flags out your windows. You know, I say it every year. Get the fucking face painted. Make your tinfoil FA Cup. Get the kids to make a tinfoil FA Cup and put it in the window. Let's show that Manchester is blue, you know what I mean? Let's get them Reds who are driving round thinking, fucking hell, and Berties are at Wembley again for the FA Cup final while we're fucking 14th in the league or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I urge everybody to embrace it. You know, future generations of kids, they've got to realise how special it is, the FA Cup final. You've got to jazz it up. If you can't make the final, get everyone round at your gaff, get it on the TV, get a few beers in, have a party and that. You know, and at the end of the day, it's a big game. You know, May the 17th, it's a Saturday. I hope we get the green man end. I love it when we get the green man end. I think that pub's brilliant for us. And I just feel like this season could now end up being a positive instead of a negative. I know we've lost the league. We lost that a long time ago. But we could win the FA Cup and get in the Champions League. Now, any other season, that's classed as a fantastic season. So we've got to be grateful. We're still knocking on the door for silverware and we're still getting, you know, in the Champions League if we can get there. So we've got to be happy. Just want to talk about Liverpool. First of all, congratulations to Liverpool. It's not easy winning that Premier League. You know what I mean? The best team always wins the league for me. Now you realise what Manchester City have done these last 4 seasons, 4 in a row, winning this Premier League. It's not easy, you know. And Arne Slot came in. Not many people knew much about him. They were saying, you know, he can't come from the Dutch league and win the Premier League. He didn't really mess around with Klopp's team too much. He sort of took a back seat and examined what he had. And he started the season nice and he got the momentum and they started to snowball. And before we knew it, they were clear. You know what I mean? Arsenal were the team a lot of people said would jump in if City was struggling. They would run away with the league, but they didn't. It was Liverpool. And I know we have banter with Liverpool fans, etc. And I know sometimes we get on their case, but they won the league in COVID and everyone sort of laughed because they couldn't celebrate it. So I've got a lot of mates at Liverpool fans. I do want them to go and celebrate it. They will have a parade. They'll all turn out. It'll be fantastic. You know what I mean? So yeah, for me, it's disappointing to lose the league after 4 in a row. It was always going to happen at some point. And for me, the league's on loan. Don't get too comfortable, Liverpool. I think that Manchester City and Pep Guardiola will be back next season to take that crown. So, yeah, I hope so. But listen, enjoy it. You deserve it. The best team always wins the league. There's no hiding with that. And, yeah, we're disappointed over here in Manchester. And just to let you know that we ain't going to give it up without a fight next season. So we're going to be back. But first of all, we've got to win that FA Cup. You know, we've got to win that FA Cup. We've got to get the trophy in the cabinet, get another trophy, keep picking up them pots. Weekend game against Wolves coming up on Friday. The 1894 have got another protest about the season tickets. They're going to stay on the concourse for the first 6 minutes due to the 6 years. We've had no new season tickets issued. Like I've said before, if you want to do this protest, do it. If you don't. But everybody that did it last time, I take my hat off to you because it really worked. It was shown all around the world. People in Abu Dhabi seen it. People at the club didn't like it. Things escalated. We had the City Matters meeting. We got the season ticket price freeze. We got the ticket price freeze, which is a small victory. Now we're moving on to the new. Stadium, new stand. We want season tickets in there. We want your kids and their kids to be able to get season tickets at this football club they love, not get priced out at £72 for a game against Villa that's been changed 3 times in a midweek. We want people to be able to start building a relationship with a football club through family ties and local fans, etc., getting season tickets and getting behind the club. So I urge everyone to do it if you can. 6 minutes, it's not a lot. Stay on the concourse. You might miss a goal, but what you're doing for the long term of the club and for the fans and the future of this football club, it means a lot. And if we don't do it, nobody will do it. So it's got to be the old school. It's got to be the blokes and the ladies that have felt it and feel this football club and realise that things aren't right and going in the right direction. We got to make a stand. You know what I mean? We're not causing trouble. We're just letting them know that we ain't taking everything that they throw at us with a pinch of salt. If we don't think it's right, we're going to call it out. And that's the biggest thing I get now at the match. A lot of fans coming up saying, thanks for speaking out for the club, etc. You don't have to thank me. I'm just doing what I think's right. That's it. And that's just me. Always the way it is. And I will always do that. I've seen the 1894 tonight. I've put a open letter to Pep Guardiola. I'm going to post it on my socials now. So when you're watching this video, it'll be on there. It's an open letter to Pep to get involved in this ticket situation and have a word with Soriano and see what's going on. I know Pep's been very, very vocal about it. He mentioned the empty seats at Wembley and saying he understands the fans. He's also mentioned the last protest and said that this football club, the fans have got a right to do what they think's right. So I do believe Pep Guardiola is in agreement with the supporters. I think Pep Guardiola is a football man. He's come from a humble background as a ball boy at FC Barcelona as a fan, and he's risen from a ball boy to the greatest ever manager. The story of Pep Guardiola is one of the best you'll ever hear, but he's a football fan and he's a football man, and it's in his chest and his heart. Like everybody out there who watches this football club, you've all got this football club in your heart. So has he. Some people don't have this football club in the heart. Some people have this football club in the brain, or in the wallet, or in the business sense, to make money. There's more to football than making money. It's about the community. It's about your granddad who took you to the game when you was a kid. It was about your dad who took you to the match when you was a kid. It was about your uncle who took you to the game because your dad wasn't into football. It was about your mum that took you to the game, your grandma, your granddad who had you around watching the match. It's all about that. All back in the day, everybody's got their own story and the reason why they support this football club. And we need to continue that. It's been fine for 130 years. It's got to carry on for another 130 years when we're dead and buried. This is why we do these little things. So please hit a like on the video. Please leave me a comment. I read all the comments. If I don't reply, and if I like it, I've read it. So I'm just letting you know I do read them all. And let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the Kovacic performance. I thought it was outstanding. Let me know what you think about Nico O'Reilly and his performances this season. Let me know what you think about Rico Lewis. Early in the season, was he justifying getting a little bit of stick, but now he's bounced back? And overall, let me know what you think about the empty seats and the way it is and the situation it is and what can be done to make it better, etc. And do you think a lot of City fans use it as an excuse, or do you genuinely think there's a problem there now? You know what I mean? I'm very intrigued to see it. But overall, thanks for everyone that came up to me yesterday at the Green Man. I had a good chat with a lot of City fans and we had a great time. And let's roll on Wolves at weekend. Let's get the win. And FA Cup final against Palace, Dreamland Blues. Get them tickets booked. Get them coaches booked. Get them hotels booked. Let's go to Wembley, May 17th. Let's turn it blue and let's win that FA Cup. Up the Blues.